It is Thursday, September 29th in the MLB, and I'm Austin from Calling Our Shot.
And I'm Logan from Calling Our Shot.
We are back with our 3 favorite picks of the day. We got 2 game picks, 1 no one first inning coming right up.
As always, guys, if you're watching this video and you aren't subscribed, just do us a real quick favor. Go down and hit that subscribe button. It really helps Austin and I grow this channel. We just hit 39,000. Big shout out to you guys in the community. So closing in on 40K. That's a big milestone for this channel.
100%. Let's keep hitting that subscribe button, keep hitting that like button. As people can see, I'm kind of in a change of scenery. If you watched my Dolphins versus Bengals best bets video, you would know that I live in St. Petersburg, Florida. So Hurricane Ian was on the way, but we're still going to keep cranking out the content. Luckily, I still have power and we're all ready to go. Now let's recap yesterday. I won't be able to share our screens, but 2 in 1 day. Hey, we can't do anything better than that. We cashed our 100th no run first inning. So my Nerfy flag somewhere over here. And all rise. Logan called the Judge home run yesterday and he cashes the Yankees team total. What a call. But let's keep going into it. We cashed our parlay of the day. It was a pretty good day. So nothing we can complain about there. Now I do have a couple notes. We have our college football week 5 best bets. That's already live on the channel. NFL week 4. And then obviously Dolphins versus Bengals is live. That's the Thursday night football game tonight. We have 1 new All-Star. I forgot to update their name, so I got you tomorrow. But I think it was Quincy Pope. That's our newest All-Star. So I appreciate you for supporting the channel. But Logan, it's going to be another good day. Let's dive into our favorite plays and what you got for the people today.
Yeah, we're going to a not so important game on the schedule, but it's a game we got to pick anyway, right? Rangers versus Mariners, and I'm going to take the under 7 total runs in this one. Plus 105 odds on Caesars is your best value, but it's pretty standard across the books, right? Now, if you're looking at this one, the last 2 games of the series have gone under, and I believe this trend continues today. And look, I'm not one to normally ever bring up trends because in baseball, to me, that's actually how you lose, is by going by the trends. But it's really worth noting because this trend's pretty powerful. The total has gone under in 10 out of the last 12 Texas road games. That really reflects, a lot of the numbers too. The Rangers simply do not bring the bats on the road. Today they're facing Marco Gonzalez. Marco Gonzalez 5.16 ERA versus Texas this season. So it is a little high, but this total, you got to look at it. It's 7 for a reason, right? Gonzalez has been really solid at home in his last 3 home starts. Gonzalez 2.37 ERA and a .63 WHIP. Having a well under 1 WHIP is showing a lot of control, and for a pitcher like Marco Gonzalez, that does mean a lot. Texas only hitting .235 in their last 3 games versus lefties, and if you look at how they're hitting as a team, they're only hitting .209 as a team in September. That's atrocious, and that's why they've gone under so much in this one. So I really do like Marco Gonzalez to be able to keep the Rangers bats at bay. Now on the other side, we've got Jon Gray, right? Jon Gray 6.35 ERA versus Seattle. It could scare you a little bit that Seattle has gotten to him, but he's been great lately, right? Gray 2.08 ERA in his last 3 starts. So he's been really solid with just above a 2 ERA. Against Seattle, Gray had a home run problem. And I need to see before I pick an under that the pitcher has somewhat corrected that home run problem. He gave up 3 home runs in 2 games against Seattle, but he hasn't allowed a home run in 3 straight starts. So he has dialed in and showed the control because, when you miss spots, sometimes these hitters are capable enough to put them in the seats. But Jon Gray hasn't been missing spots. In Seattle's offense, look at this guy. Seattle's only hitting 178 in their last 3 home games. This offense is kind of crazy because sometimes they show up, other times they just get skunked with a 0 run type game. And both bullpens are actually really solid. Seattle 7th in bullpen ERA, Texas is 12th in bullpen ERA. I think the odds makers are once again telling us in this one, these offenses are just way too inconsistent. The pitching will be solid enough to keep this one under, even though it's not that high of a total. So that's what we're going with today. But Austin, what do you got for us?
So it's pretty telling that they got a low over-under for those 2 pitchers given their recent success or, failures against the opposing teams. But I like the pick. Now, for me, it's going to take I've been really cold. I won't lie to you guys. And I meant to mention at the top of the show, I appreciate all the people that reached out and said, kind things, wished me prayers and whatnot for staying safe during the hurricane. But for my pick, I'm going to go to the Phillies first 5. And I'm just taking the run line. It's -0.5, but I don't know what the odds are going to be. This is an early start at 220. Now, I only have odds for -1.5 in the first 5 innings. That's plus 145 on Barstool. I'm going to wait for that -0.5 because obviously I don't want to lay a team to win by 2 runs in the first 5 innings. So maybe wait on this one. I expect it to be around the -115 and -135-ish. The Phillies are about -190 on the money line. So that feels about right for where those odds would be. But let's talk about this Phillies team because After losing back-to-back to the Cubs, they're now in must-win mode. This is a team that's only a half game up on the Brewers, who are just sitting in that final wild card spot. So they need wins, and they need them fast. There's not a lot of games left in this season, so they got to come out here and establish and get some runs up on the board. And I think they can do that. Now you look at, since the All-Star break, the Cubbies only hitting 228 versus left-handed pitchers, ninth worst in the MLB. That's about over their last 40 or 10 weeks or so. And today they're going to face a lefty in Ranger Suarez. And Suarez, while some starts he hasn't been great, some starts he has been very good. I think he'll pitch pretty well today against the Cubs team that's struggling against left-handed pitchers. On the year, 3.38 ERA and a 1.3 WHIP. On the road, actually been a little bit better. We know the wind sometimes blows out in Philadelphia, and that could lead to some higher numbers for Ranger Suarez at home. And the wind is not blowing out in Chicago and Wrigley Field today. So Suarez on the road, 2.67 ERA, a 1.12 WHIP. He's been pretty good. Now on the other side of the mound is who I need the Phillies to get runs up against. It's Javier Assad. He's pitching for Chicago, or he's the expected starter at the moment. Maybe that's why we don't have lines yet. Maybe they're waiting to see exactly who the Cubs confirm, but I expect him to be out there. And so far in the year, 4.28 ERA, a 1.57 WHIP. At home, he's actually been even worse, a 6.35 ERA and a 1.77 WHIP. He struggled with walking batters, so he's going to walk some guys likely today if he's out there, and that's good because the Phillies should be able to get base, just be able to knock these guys in, especially after how their offense is struggling. But since the All-Star break, Phillies hitting 261 versus right-handed pitchers. Obviously, Assad is a righty. That's the fourth highest, and I look at yesterday especially because 2 days ago, you look at the Phillies, they've only scored 3 runs in their last 2 games. One 2 days ago, 2 yesterday. They went 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position, 2 for 17 over the last 2 games. So I think they got to come out here. They had the runners on base. They had 11 hits yesterday, just could only manufacture 2 runs. So I really do think the Phillies come out here, hopefully get us some run support in these first 5 innings. Maybe they make this a no sweat bet where we've seen their offense come out and score like 6 runs in an inning. So I'm very confident that they can get it done today against Assad. I hope they do because they desperately need a win, and I think that's why they're going to come out here and play pretty well on this Thursday early afternoon. So I'll update the odds, but Logan, you know what time it is. It's Nerfy Nation time. Yesterday, we cashed that 100 Nerfy. I wanted to bring 100 Nerfy flags, but I couldn't bring all of those. There was only so much things I could take when we were leaving our house. But we're going to be going to one that the odds might change a little bit on this one. But we're going to the Marlins and Brewers, no one first inning, currently being minus 135 on Caesars. Now, these odds could change a little bit. There's no line on FanDuel. I said that yesterday, and then FanDuel came out with like a minus 170 line for our Nerfy, which was just cruel. But let's talk about this one because on the mound for the Brewers will be Eric Lauer. He's 21-6 on no one first innings. Before his last start, he was 21-5. We know this because he's the one that sold our no one first inning, and he owes us coin. And now he's pitching in the top half of the inning where he's a little bit more calm, and he's pitching against the Marlins, a team that's 29th in first inning runs. So I think he can get me those first 3 outs. Who's pitching for the Fish today, Logan?
Yeah, we got Braxton Garrett, right? Now, he doesn't have a ton of starts on the year. Braxton Garrett is 11-4 on Nerfies, though, which you do like to see. That's a respectable record. And what I really do like also, lefties are only hitting 158, against him this year. We don't know exactly what the Brewers lineup's going to be, but we know they have some left-handed bats in that top half of the order. So he should face some left-handed bats, and hopefully he is solid versus them. Milwaukee, 10th in first inning runs. They're an annoying team in the first inning for sure. They like to hit the solo blasts, but worth noting, they've been cold, right? Milwaukee hasn't scored a first inning run in 9 straight games. So if Braxton Garrett's dialed in, hopefully he is, and hopefully prevents the solo bombs on us, we should be really solid. The over-under set to 7.5, right where we like to pick them. Nerfy Nation, we hit the 100, but does that mean we're going to stop Austin?
No.
Absolutely not.
We're going for 162 now. Now, I don't think that's likely. We'd have to bet probably almost every single no one first thing. But let's wave these flags. It was fun celebrating with you guys on Twitter. We appreciate you guys as always for tailing those no one first things. We've been really dialed in on them all season long. Crazy that we've hit 100. I think we're 165. That's our record. And I'm old enough to remember, Logan, back in I think May when we lost 10 of 11 no one first innings. We were cursed. I mean, if you get rid of that streak, we really have a good record hitting like 67%. But it's all a luck-based bet. So that happens. Now, parlay of the day, the legs aren't going to surprise you. I mean, there wasn't a lot to like on a shorter slate than we normally get, so we're just running back our 2 plays. So the odds are to be determined, but Mariners, Rangers under 7, and Phillies first 5 run line will be our 2 parlay legs. So if Logan and I can get those 2-0 game picks, we'll hit the parlay as well. Hopefully we cash no one first inning. I appreciate you guys as always. A couple of videos popping up on the screen. Call out of work. You got a lot of COS content to go watch. So we appreciate you guys always tuning in. Austin, Logan signing out. We'll see you guys back again Friday morning, hopefully with the brooms out, hopefully with another winning day. We'll see you guys then.